who pays for the dates? When you're dating, when you're just starting the dating process, do you go Dutch? I know how I feel about it, but I'm going to let you guys talk it out.
I would say first, I mean, especially first date, Jesus, at least the first one.
Yeah.
That one is an absolute. But yeah.
An absolute what?
Like the guy needs to pay. Like,
okay.
I want to take you out. I want to, even if it's just coffee or whether it's dinner. I would say the person, after you've been on a couple dates, the man should take care of the first couple dates because it's part of being a provider, setting the tone, being the leader, going first, stepping out. So I think that is what it's about. It's not like, don't let the world confuse you and make you think men and women are enemies and women's trying to get over. But I will say after that, then whoever initiates the date, there's nothing wrong with a woman taking a man out to something like, hey, I got us tickets to a baseball game or whatever. Yeah, I want to go do blah, blah, blah. But the first couple dates as a woman and man are dating and a guy's getting to know a woman, then a dude should be like, hey, I want to take you out. I want to get to know you. It comes along with being the one to ask and initiate the dating.
Okay.
You should be the one to initiate and go first and setting the tone and the expectation, not expecting a woman to pay. But I will say, as our friends Aaron and Virginie White put in their amazing The Black and White series, some women need to stop using dates to get a free meal.
Yeah.
Like if you know you're not feeling a dude and he asks you out, don't say yes just because you're but I'm just saying let's be real about it while we're talking about, because we're coming down on the dudes, but the women too. Like if you know you're not feeling this dude, but like, oh well, I'm hungry, or I haven't been out in a while, or I got these shoes I've been waiting to wear out, or whatever it is. Like stop using dating. Stop using dating to get a free meal or just to get out the house. Like don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I would say, so the same on the flip side.
I think it's a really tangible demonstration of intention.
Yeah.
Like for a guy, and you know, I think it's totally appropriate to let a guy and to expect a guy to pay for the first few dates. I think it's a standard. It's tradition. It's wisdom. I think it's just a really great way to see how hard he's willing to try from the get-go. And I think it's fun a handful of dates in when you know it's like maybe at least going to be something serious for a little bit, to flip it and have the girl, you know, lead out in that way and take the man on a date. It's from a guy's perspective, it's kind of adventurous. And I mean, like, and especially like later on in the relationship, I think once you've gotten to that point where you're in a serious relationship, I think that it's okay to share some of that responsibility. You know, to be in a relationship and be shouldering the burden of date after date after date after date. It's like, okay, I need to start budgeting for this, like, you know, and I think it's okay at some point for women to start like stepping up and for it to become a partnership. You know, I think it's just like when you know that it's a safe investment, when you know that it's going to be reciprocated and you can come in and, you know, I think it's just finding those ways to just do that respectfully.
That's great. So, Jason, is that what you've been doing?
Well, for my first date with just the most, for my first date, I really wanted to show off. So, of course, I paid for everything. Even borrowed. Even had a nice car that wasn't mine. And it worked really well. Just saying, let's be honest about that. Didn't it?
You got creative.
But I will say, so I think I agree with everything we're saying here. Just a throwback to one of the questions asked before. Thinking about if I was asked out by a woman, and we go to somewhere that's nice or whatever, I don't think I'd feel. I think I'd encourage women who ask out a guy and then get a date out of that to not just assume he's going to get it in the end, if that's safe to say. Maybe that's just my opinion.
Not assume that he's going to pay.
And then even though, or even assume it, but maybe just like be surprised. Let it be an enjoyment. Like, like maybe reach for the purse. I'm just saying, if you ask out a guy.
I would say if you ask out a guy, I mean, under what we kind of agreed on, it's a guy you don't really know that well.
Yeah,
I don't think that a dinner date would be all that appropriate. Anyway. I think something that would be more appropriate for that would be to go meet for coffee. And I think it's just like maybe agreeing to go Dutch, or since you were the asker, you know, maybe you fork over the $250 for a coffee. But, you know, I think that it shouldn't maybe be that a date, like it should be a more casual environment.
But if it is at a dinner, I'm just saying that initial, just to not assume like, oh, I asked him out and now he's what? We're here. Like, just do that. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, if it's a solid guy, he's gonna want to do it anyways.
Yeah.
But I think there's a way of if you made that initial thing, this is him showing action, so he doesn't feel like he's forced into paying, but at the same time, he doesn't feel like you're gonna take the brunt of it.
Yeah. What if it didn't go well? What if you're the dude, you got asked out by this girl, and you're like, oh, I'm kind of not feeling her.
And now I gotta
pay for dinner too?
Well, if you got the guy from a pool of respectable men anyways, I'm hoping he's not going to just go into balance.
Pool of respectable...
Where are you finding your dude? Come on.
Respectable date finder.
.com. Oh.
Right?
Respectable.
Don't copy that.
Yeah, I would say for me it goes back to the only time I would feel okay with a woman initiating dating is if we're in a situation where we might not see each other again, or we're not in the situation where we run into each other regularly, and she gives me, whether it's a phone number or an email address, to say, hey, I'd really love to hang out sometime, you should call me, or you should contact me. So it still puts the initiative in the guy's court. It's just, it's expressing interest, but still, hey, I would love to hang out sometime, you should set something up. Because then then if a guy's interested, now I'm very aware, okay, cool. If I want to hang out with her, if I want to ask her out, I can initiate that. But I don't want a woman asking me out, because as a dude, it's just, if I'm interested, I'll ask you out. Yeah. Which is, when I was interested, I asked you out. It's just.
But if she does that and gives it to him, she can't be, why ain't he why is he
right.
It's
just, Yeah, and that's
I'm cool.
I'm
cool. 30?
Yeah, it's just going back to what it's going back to what Nelson was saying. Like, dude, if a dude likes you, he's going to find a way.
Yeah.
Whether it's going on Facebook, whether it's finding a friend. If a guy, I don't care if he's the cowardly lion. If he is interested in a woman, he is going to find a way to let her know. It may be it may be secret admirer for a while. Yeah. But a dude, like, no matter how timid a guy is, if he is interested in a woman, there's going to come a point where he doesn't want to lose out. He's going to say something. So if you've been around a dude and been friends for however long and in mutual circles and he has not said anything, he is not interested. Just if we can just establish that.
I love that he's trying to get this point across.
I'm just saying, we get back to that. So yeah.
Next question. Carlos, did you want to say anything about that, by the way?
Oh, no, I agree. Guy pays, I think, for sure. I think it's part of the thing about being provider or being intentional and say, I want to take care of you, I want to provide, not necessarily security financially, but I'm taking you out.
Yeah.
And therefore, that goes along with everything. I open the door for you, I pick you up.
Yep.
I don't meet you there, I pick you up. If you want, you bring a flower, it's up to you, that kind of stuff. But you basically take care of her as, she's, to go a little bit further, she's the daughter of a king, you treat her like a princess.
Great.
So you take her from beginning to A to B, all the way to the end. Even if you don't like the date, you treat her great all the way to the end.
That's awesome.
That doesn't mean you have to call her back or go out with her again, but you treat her the best. Yeah. And in terms respectfully, in terms of going Dutch and all that kind of stuff, I actually don't like when people feel entitled.
Yeah.
So if the girl feels entitled, even if I'm paying it, I don't like it if it feels entitled.
Yeah.
I prefer if they're like more humble and like, hey, can I contribute? Even if she's kidding or joking. I prefer that.
Yeah. Would you say yes?
I would
even
not
if she's
say yes.
kidding?
No, I would say no, but I would.
Like she gets her ID card out.
Yeah.
She's like,
thanks for trying.
You want to borrow a hug?
Yeah, but don't be awkward either and about to start a fight like in the restaurant. Like, no, I want to dude, I'm taking you out. Chill out.
Yeah. Like, tug of war over the check.
Yeah, right.
Is there ever a point where you would say, then Carlos, is there ever a point, or any of the guys, is there ever a point when you would say to a woman, no, I'm paying for this?
Yeah.
Would you say that there are more dates that you would pay for than not pay 100%, for?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear. I'm making this clear.
But yes, I think I think Nelson said, after a while, I mean, it is, there's finances involved, there's time involved, there's a lot of things involved, and I like it when, hey, I'll take you out. And create something romantic or something that you haven't prepared because she's prepared it. The other part is I like it when maybe I'll take you out for dinner and then she pays for a coffee or something of that nature. And that's just basically mutual respect. You know where you're going, but it's already been established. It's an established relationship going a certain direction.
Okay, next question. I broke up with the guy, but now I believe he's changed. Should I go back to dating him?